Get up and get up now. This is where you win. This is the first battle of the day. This victory. So do not be weak. Do not lay down. Do not sleep in. Do not falter. I know you want to crawl back under those covers. And I'm telling you, no, do not. Those 5 minutes are not worth bowing down.
If you are arguing against your own God-given potential, you are actively destroying your confidence. You're actively destroying possibility in your life. Instead, say this: I'm going to get on the court and try until I make it. Because the pain of sitting in the stands and never getting down there is way greater than tripping on the court.
I live for today. I don't care what happened yesterday. I live in the moment because that's the only thing we have in our lives are moments in time.
Discipline equals freedom in all aspects of your life. From a fitness perspective, you gotta have the discipline to get up early in the morning. You gotta have discipline to work out, the discipline to eat the right foods. And if you have those kind of disciplines, they're not easy. But if you make the right choice over time, it's gonna give you freedom.
Once you start questioning yourself, you already lost. Once you start questioning yourself, once you start going into a state of depression, and you start being by yourself, and you start thinking and wondering, once you start wondering, you already lost. Even if you don't believe. I'm gonna believe in me before anybody else believe in me.
When you're waking up every morning by yourself and you're getting after it by yourself, and it's the hidden work. All those mornings that you don't want to get up, and I look at it as like a rock. And you find the rock, and the rock is you. And every day you fight not wanting to get up. And you do anyway. You chip another piece off that rock. And every day you can eat the right foods. And every day you go to train, you train harder and harder and harder and harder. And you get up earlier. And all these things you do to start forming yourself. You're chipping another fucking piece of that rock off. Before you know it, chip this beautiful fucking piece of artwork that you built.
What happens if you walk through this lifetime, something unexpected comes? And then there it is. Something that we call choice. You have the choice. The suffering comes and you run away, or the suffering comes, the pain comes, and you face it. We are overcoming the suffering. We are not running away from the suffering. You are overcoming it. You go through it until you have become so strong. Your body becomes so strong. Your mind has become so strong that it doesn't matter afterwards anymore.
See, what will cause you to procrastinate? What will cause you to hide out behind fear? What will cause you to come up with all type of excuses that you can validate your inaction and not acting on your dream?
And most people fail those 1 seconds. And then that 1 second leads to 20 years, 30 years, 40 years of. And that's where people start to lose it. Because now I realize that in that 1 second, I go through all that. I know how it's going to feel because I failed so many times before. Failure is the ultimate thing, man. I failed so many times before. That's why I don't look at failure anymore as failure. I look at it as my first, second, third attempt.
As we begin to look at what we want, as we begin to look toward the future, what's going to be crucial for you is every time you find yourself saying that you can't do something, you've got to affirm to yourself, hey, no, I can make it. This can happen for me. You've got powers within you, talents within you that you haven't even reached for yet. Now, whatever goal you have, here's what we know. You're going to have some opposition. You're going to have some difficulties. You're going to have some challenges. long journey, long dark night. But when you hold on to your dream, don't let anybody kill it in you. Just hold on to that dream. When it doesn't make sense to anybody, including you sometimes, just hold on. Once you give yourself an opportunity to try and to stretch, you'll find out you can do more than you could ever begin to imagine.
It comes from when you make a decision to be disciplined. When you make a decision to be better. When you make a decision to do more and to be more. Self-discipline comes when you decide that you're going to make a mark on the world. And if you think that you're not disciplined or you can't be disciplined, it's because you haven't yet decided to be disciplined. It's because you haven't created that discipline yet.
Motivation is a feeling that comes and goes, and it doesn't matter whether it's there or not. Discipline is infinitely more important. No matter how you feel, get up and do what you're supposed to do. That's it. And that's discipline. It's not motivation. If you only did what you were supposed to do when you were motivated to do it, that's leaving it to chance. But if you're disciplined, you go do what you're supposed to do. That's the way it works.
And many people go through life never getting in touch with their greatness because of the lack of motivation to push themselves, or because they have not found something that they believe to be worthwhile to challenge them. I heard a poem once that said, many a flower has bloomed unceasingly and wasted sweetness upon the cold desert air. It's translated, that means simply that many a talented persons have gone unnoticed, and the world never had a chance to be exposed to their talent because that person did not take the time to begin to express or to demonstrate or to motivate themselves in the direction to bring that which they came into the universe to bring.
The whole universe is change, and life itself is but what we deem it. Life itself is but what we deem it. The 8 most profound words in all of philosophy. Mm-hmm. Things are going to happen. You are going to have experiences in life. Almost all of the important impacts of how those experiences change you are going to be the story that you tell yourself about what that experience means.
There are moments in your life where problems seem as big as a mountain. You don't see the beauty of them because you're looking at it as an obstacle. Stop and look at what you survived so far. Life is full of ups, downs, hills, valleys, and mountains. And when you do so, you will become a mountain of a man, a mountain of a woman, a mountain of a dreamer, a mountain of an achiever. But you've got to believe that somehow everything that you are going through is developing you for something greater.
Your goals and your tasks and your health and your discipline waver. Instead of letting all those things slide, instead rise up and aggressively move forward down the path toward victory.
What's the secret to happiness? I always say one word: progress. Progress equals happiness. If you've ever achieved a goal and then went, is this all there is? You know it's not getting it. Or even if you achieved a goal and you were thrilled, how long were you happy for? A year? 9 months? 6 months? 3 weeks? Because we're not made to just sit here and be satisfied. Everything in the universe grows or dies. Everything in the universe either contributes or is eliminated. So when you're making progress, you feel alive. When you have a dream, the one thing you have to watch out for are those out there that'll try to crush your dream. And you cannot allow that to happen. Have your dream, go after it with all you have, and be legendary in your own right.
There's a power to one more. When you start stacking up those one mores, not only have you put more contacts out into the universe, but you start believing, I'm doing something most people aren't willing to do. I'm fixing to get something most people aren't going to get.
The shortcut is a lie. The hack doesn't get you there. And if you want to take the easy road, it won't take you to where you want to be. Stronger, smarter, faster, healthier, better, free. to reach goals and overcome obstacles and be the best version of you possible will not happen by itself. It will not happen cutting corners, taking shortcuts, or looking for the easy way. There is no easy way.
You want to rebel against your parents? Cool. Do better. You want to rebel against society? Cool. Rebel by working harder than everyone else. That's the best form of rebellion. Sure, you can go and rebel against them by cutting school, not studying. That is a form of rebellion. And guess what? You're the one that loses. So instead of doing that kind of rebellion, rebel by winning. Rebel by getting smarter. Rebel by getting stronger. Rebel by working harder. Like, that's the kind of rebellion you should do.
When you slack off, you feel empty, incomplete. You feel weak and you feel defeated. But when you go harder, when you allow for no slack whatsoever, when you meet that wall of pain and suffering and you power right through it, that feeling stays with you. That power stays with you, and it builds and it strengthens everything you do that day.
You can get yourself to love to do the stuff you hate to do, and there's no limit to the success you can have in your life. And the more focused you are on how you're not going to do that, the more life seems to bring those things up for you and makes them barriers.
Short-term thinking says one workout doesn't matter. I can skip it. Short-term thinking encourages you to make short-term emotional decisions that hurt you in the long run. Further from the path you will stray.
Decide to live your fantasy. See, in life, you can go through life, you can come up with reasons or you can come up with results. You can come up with excuses or you can come up with achievements. You can go through life blaming or you can come up with solutions. The choice is in your hands, satisfaction or despair. We can choose that.
Your dreams are just around the corner, but you got to get out of the nightmare. You see, the greatest thing that you have is you. It's the tool that God gave you.
Right? You can't be a common man and do uncommon things. That's uncommon. That's an uncommon mentality. That's an uncommon spirit. That's an uncommon disposition. Don't ask me if I'm all right. No, we not. Every single day, do you dominate in what you do?
You got to come out your comfort zone, because your comfort zone is the deadliest place you will ever be. You should never feel comfortable. You should be happy and dissatisfied.
Our masters make the hardest things in the world look easiest. And in the moments where you push yourself, when no one else is around, those moments have a tendency to lead to success.
So you got to learn to stand up to yourself inside yourself and short circuit, override that conversation that's always going on. 85% of what that conversation will tell you is negative. It's negative. It will tell you you're tired when you really are not tired. It will tell you you can't do it. It will fill you with fear. So you've got to watch that conversation. And when you find it going on, you've got to stand up to it and say, I'm going to do this anyhow. I'm afraid, but I'm afraid not to do it. And I'm not going to let you stop me.
I don't tell people that they're okay the way they are. No, I say, no, you could be way more than you are. And they're relieved about that, you see, because if you're in a dark and terrible place and someone says you're okay the way you are, then you don't know what to do about that. It's right. No, I'm not. I'm having a terrible time and I'm hopeless. You're okay the way you are. Well, then what? That's it. That's where I am. And you could be way better. You could be incomparably better across multiple dimensions. And in pursuing that better, that's where you'll find the meaning in your life. And that will give you the antidote to the suffering.
Most people go through life never discovering what their talents are. Most people never develop their talents. They have skills and abilities, but if you don't nurture them, if you don't develop them, they will never serve you. Your gifts can take you many places if you develop your gifts. Most of us don't like to do those things that come easy to us. You have something that you brought to the universe, and that if you decide that my life deserves my developing this what I do well, and becoming the best at it and mastering myself and seeing what I have within me, if you decide to drop your buckets where you are and develop your gifts, I grant you, you'll never ever be without.
Never allow life to make you forget why you do what you do. Because a cat can become so successful, they can become a victim of their own success.
We all live in this bubble. What you gotta do to get the life that God wants you to have, you gotta put more air in your bubble. You got to blow your bubble up. Expand yourself. Take yourself out your comfort zone. Do not live in your bubble. Put some more air in your bubble.
Whatever happened last week happened last week. Whatever happened last year, your girlfriend dumped you. You gotta get up, look at the man in the mirror and go, this is what I'm doing today, whether they like it or not. I don't give a f. Everybody's focusing on the stupidity things that they got on the news. Don't watch the news no more. I give you the real news. You know what the news is about today? You, and how you're gonna conquer the world. How do you become a king? By taking it to the next level. By doing something outside your comfort zone.
Commitment means standing up for your life. It means honoring yourself. We say, oh, it's too hard, it's too hard. We don't challenge our spirit. Ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing as powerful as the human spirit. You can't destroy it. You can pervert it, but you can't destroy.
People want to know how to stop the laziness, and they want to know how to stop the procrastination. And, they have some idea in their head, some kind of a vision, what they want to do. But they don't know where to start. They don't know where to start it, They don't know where to start. And so they say, hey, where do I start? And when's the best time to start? And I have a very simple answer for that. Here and now.
You say you want to be great, let your actions, let your word display that. If you say you really want to be elite, let your actions and let your words display that.
Unchosen suffering is going to happen in life. Your parents are going to pass away, loved ones are going to die, your relationships are going to break down, your body is going to fail you, you're going to become ill or sick or destitute. Things are going to happen that you have no control over. And the only way that you can prepare yourself for unchosen suffering is with chosen suffering. You can elect to put yourself into a position to become a stronger alloy of whatever the metal is that you're made of. And by purposefully choosing difficult things, you will armor yourself against that situation.
Happiness is an emotional response to an outcome. If I win, I will be happy. If I don't, I won't. It's an if-then, cause and effect, quid pro quo standard that we cannot sustain because we immediately raise it every time we attain it. See, happiness demands a certain outcome. It is result reliant. And I say, if happiness is what you're after, then you're going to be let down frequently, and you're going to be unhappy much of your time. Joy, though. Joy is a different thing. It's something else. Joy is not a choice. It's not a response to some result. It's a constant. Joy is the feeling that we have from doing what we are fashioned to do.
You can have more than you've got because you can become more than you are. That's the challenge. And of course, the other side of the coin reads, unless you change how you are, you'll always have what you got. It's something you attract, not something you pursue. Success is looking for a good place to stay. So instead of going after it, you work on yourself. personal development. See, the major question to ask on the job is not what are you getting? The major question to ask on the job is what are you becoming?
The optimism that resides inside of you is a gift from God. It's on loan. Don't you dare believe that the trials and tribulations, the trauma, the neglect and hardship that you've gone through was to wipe you out. You needed the opposition. Because a warrior needs to go into battle, and you didn't realize it then, but you know it now. Everything that you have had to face also had to face you.
The absence of purpose, we will start digging holes in our life. In the absence of doing something meaningful, we will start literally binge watching TV, binge eating, binge drinking. Any vice will lead to self-destruction, holes in your life. And so people who think like, no, I'm a human being. I'm like, no, bro, you're a human animal. You're a human animal until you get to a point of self-awareness and consciousness where literally these eyes, it's just a window that you're experiencing life through, and you can respond and not react.
There is no shame in wanting something. This whole world is based on wanting something. You've got to discover your gift, and when you discover it, you got to soak it. You got to wring it out, man. You got to diversify it. Most of us only have one talent. But do you know that that's all you need?
If you break, the fight isn't over. In fact, if you break, the fight is just beginning.
You survived it. You're still here. That means you're victorious, and the victorious side of you needs to keep winning. Make winning a habit. Make getting up and going after your goals a habit. Write down your goals. Smash them, then write down more as you smash those. Write down more. Keep dreaming, keep believing, keep excelling. And after you run over all those goals, turn around and look at the rest of your life and say, God, I thank you for putting me through the storm.
What are your goals? Is it to get the goals? You get the goal. How many got the goal? And after you achieved it, went, is this all there is? That's worse than failing, isn't it? Because most of you, if you fail, you're driven, right? You'll dust yourself up, get up, and go for it again. You're going to get there. So I want you to understand something. The purpose of life is not to get your goals. The purpose of life is who you become to achieve your goals.
Stop doing the things that you know are wrong that you could stop doing. But we will presume that there are things that you're doing that for one reason or another you know are not in your best interests. There's something about them that you just know you should stop. They're kind of self-evident to you. Other things you're going to be doubtful about. You're not going to know which way is up and which way is down. But there are things that you're doing that you know you shouldn't do. But there's another subset that you could stop doing. It might be a little thing. Well, that's fine. Stop doing it. To see what happens.
And every day you fight not wanting to get up. And you do anyway. You chip another piece off that rock. And every day you eat the right food. And every day you go to train. You train harder and harder and harder and harder. And you get up earlier. And all these things you do to start forming yourself. You're chipping another fucking piece of that rock up. Before you know it, you get this beautiful fucking piece of artwork that you built.
The best way to contend with problems, with issues, with adversity is action, is by taking action. The more you sit and the more you wait and the more time you spend with that adversity, with the upper hand inside your head, the worse it's going to get.
You have to believe that you're the person that's going to change your entire bloodline. You're the person that's going to change everything that's around you. You need accountability, though. It's got to be someone that you are accountable to push one another to greatness. Jordan had Pippen, and he pushed him until Pippen became a Hall of Famer. Both of them are champions, but they pushed each other to become elite together. There is a reliance and there is a duplicity that we need someone. Who's your one?
I found peace years ago. In the battle you find peace. When you go to war with yourself, you find a lot of peace because you know exactly who you are. And that is where the peace is really found for me.
Because I don't care who you are, I don't care what you do, at some time you are going to get tired. At some time you're going to get in a rut. Seem like nothing you do works out right. And sometimes it just seems like you just don't have the wherewithal or the will to do anything. You can put effort on you, and by concentrating on you and developing you, you can transform your life wherever you are right now.